ahead.
Let's start with the 1 seeds.
Yep.
Let's start with the number 1 seeds. Not a lot of surprise. I think these have been from the moment Justice Suing threw a behind the back pass against Michigan. That seed was locked up for Michigan.
Yep.
And then from the moment Illinois smoked Michigan a couple days later in Ann Arbor, I feel like we've had the number 1 seeds locked up. Not exactly a surprise. I think it kind of got interesting with Isaiah Livers hurting his foot,
Yes.
and he's whether he plays or not out indefinitely.
Yep.
Hopefully he can come back, but.
I'm knocking on wood because
it doesn't seem like it's. Alabama certainly made a late case to get a 1 seed, but I don't think it was ever serious. I think it was pretty clear that these were going to be the 1 seeds. No surprises here, right?
Yeah, and I think the Big Ten was by far the best conference, so they deserve at least 2 number 1 seeds. So we knew that coming in. There was a chance, in my mind at least, with Illinois, maybe they jump Baylor, and but that doesn't happen. It's okay. I like where Illinois is. I'm worried about Michigan. Like you said, without Livers, I think that could be something to watch.
We should say, for the most part, the number 1 seeds in terms of who's the best, the order, it doesn't matter as much if you're thinking about it as the 2 seeds that you get, because they're snaking it this year, but they still stay true to the the conference, shake up the conference. It's like Ohio State was never going to be the 2 seed, Michigan or Illinois, which is why Ohio State is in Baylor's.
Yep.
Iowa's and Gonzaga's. So in that regard, it kind of doesn't matter because you knew that Ohio State was going to have to be in either Gonzaga or Baylor's region. Iowa, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it kind of that part. The rest of it, as it trickles down, maybe that matters. But
yeah, I got some 1 seed stats for you. 10 of the last 13 champions were 1 seeds, and since 1985, 22 of the 35 champions have been 1 seeds, about 63%. So when you think about the actual champion, it's a good chance that one of these 4 teams.
Yeah, it's funny because we go into every tournament, we're like, now anything can happen.
Yeah,
and it's true, but at the same time, of those things, of all the anythings that can happen, the most common thing is the 1 seed. The best team wins.
21 of the last 22 top 3 seeds of the champions.
Speaking of the best team, Gonzaga is the best team in this field.
Yes.
We've been discussing this concept of Gonzaga versus the field the entire
all year.
season.
Yes.
Given that Illinois is now being pushed to the moon, as we've seen these last few weeks, ever since, like we said, they beat Michigan in Ann Arbor, and then they win the Big Ten title. They beat Ohio State in an awesome game. Would you still say it's Gonzaga versus the field, or are you trying to throw Illinois in the mix? Is Baylor? Where do you see the tiers? Give me your 1 seed tiers.
Yes, here it is. Tier 1 is 2 teams, Gonzaga and Illinois. That is the top tier. And I think right now, if you take a snapshot of the moment, you say what is the best case scenario title game? It is Gonzaga versus Illinois, and I think Illinois represents the best of the Big Ten right now. I think they're the best team in the Big Ten, and I think Timmy versus Coburn, those 2 guys battling it out, on the block.
Yeah.
I think that's a great matchup. You obviously have Io versus Suggs. I mean, that's a great matchup. These 2 teams to me are the best teams. I've been really impressed with Illinois lately. Since the Michigan game, March 2nd, that was the time I kind of saw, okay, Illinois, they've clicked in here. They know who they are. I love Curbelo off the bench. He's like a Shabazz Napier, person for Io. I think Io's going to be my Kimba candidate. We're going to get to that. But I like Illinois, and I like this team. And then Tier 2 is obviously, Michigan, Baylor. And I think even Michigan might be, kind of straddling the line a little bit. We're going to see where they are.
Michigan is, I like Michigan's draw a lot, though.
Michigan in February, Michigan is obviously Tier 1. Yeah. You know what I mean? So.
I do like Michigan's draw, and even losing, I mean, you could say that the first game without Isaiah Livers, they lose to Ohio State, but it's also like Ohio State, and I'm not saying this because I'm wearing a very colorful Ohio State sweatshirt. Ohio State's one of the better teams in the country. There's no shame in losing to Ohio State. Like, Michigan could still be a very, very good team, even if Isaiah Livers can't play.
Yep.
I think most Michigan fans are like, we have no shot at a title. I would even say that's not entirely true.
No.
Your chances are dramatically decreased, but you're still good enough. If you told me this Michigan team ended up winning the title, I wouldn't be shocked by that.
And I also from the Michigan side, I like the idea of Livers, even if he is, I like indefinitely is what I should say. I like the idea that there's a chance we get to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8 and he's feeling a little bit better, we can get him back. So
I still think it's Gonzaga's tournament, though. I think
that is the question. That is the answer.
You do not have to beat Gonzaga to win the national title. I want to make that point. You could 2015 Duke did not beat Kentucky. Kentucky was the big Goliath. Duke won the national championship. They did not have to beat Kentucky to do so. But somebody did, and somebody's gonna have to beat Gonzaga. But it doesn't have to be, Illinois is on the other side of the bracket. They don't have to be. They could win the title without beating Gonzaga. They could let Creighton beat Gonzaga, and then Who's the first 1 seed to lose? Bill is asking us.
That's a good question, Bill. First 1 seed to lose. I mean, this is gonna be a little bit biased, but I'm gonna take Baylor. I think Baylor is gonna be the first 1 seed to go out of this tournament.
You have Baylor in the second round.
In the second round, yes.
To
Wisconsin or North Carolina. I don't know which one.
Gonzaga is too good to be challenged. Oklahoma, I think Oklahoma beats Missouri, but
I mean, the Bonnies in the second round against Michigan is a tough matchup.
I don't think so. I think Michigan and Gonzaga have great draws. Illinois, Georgia Tech would be interesting.
I mean,
but again,
Big Ten tournament
both
champion,
of these feel
ACC tournament champion.
Both of these feel like a deal where the 8 seed, like I look at Georgia Tech and I'm like, Georgia Tech could beat Illinois, but Loyola is probably going to beat Georgia Tech. And it's not going to matter.
The same with North Carolina. I feel like if North Carolina beats Wisconsin, they beat Baylor, but Wisconsin will probably beat North Carolina. A lot of Big Ten apologists out there coming at me right now saying Wisconsin should have been the 8 seed and North Carolina should have been the 9 seed based on strength of schedule. So I wanted to shout that out. We can change that if we need to. It's still the same game.
I'm picking Baylor as the first 1 seed to lose. Their defense just hasn't been the same since they come back. That's what made them so good. Is they play
and
great
the 3-point
defense.
shooting.
Yeah.
I mean it has gotten a little bit better. You know, they're getting back to return to the mean, but I see Baylor struggling, and also Baylor. You know, they win their championship, they win the Big 12 regular season, and they did sell. You and we have a problem when you over celebrate when you win regular season titles and hang banners and go a little crazy. So I'm worried about that a little bit too. Hey there, thanks for watching Titus and Tate. For the full friend of the program experience, subscribe right below and come join us for all things college basketball. The action is heating up. Come join Titus and Tate.